Hello, hello. How are you all doing today? Still about 4 minutes before the hour, so technically this is before the stream. This is still the lead in, but I don't know. I never know how to begin these things. I'm not much of a showman, really. I'm just having fun. How's everyone's evening? How are you all doing today? Thank you all so much for dropping by. I'm just gonna chat for 4 minutes. Why not? We start on the hour, but might as well just have a chat for a bit. Hey, Annie, welcome. Eternal, hi Obi. Newman Rose, welcome. Raiha, Maddie, Kagilia, Thea, and M said hi right to the, as soon as this was scheduled. Good, good. You know what? What? There we go. We'll just hang out for a few minutes. Don't want to start too early for anyone that's watching the clock and going to join on the hour, because we don't want to begin without people. But we'll just have a bit of a hangout for a bit. It's been far too long. Firstly, it's been far too long since I streamed last. I need to get back to this. Like I don't know what everyone else is like. I just get focused just down on one thing, the thing that I need to get done, and like right recently for me, for so long it's been editing this, and I'm just like, okay, I've got the edit to do. I could do other things. I've got a whole bunch of stuff to do, but I find it really difficult to have like multiple things going at once, or just like one thing at a time. And now I've finally got Respawn 5 out of the way. I can get back to streaming and doing other things. And this particular audio has taken me way too long. Way too. It's been far too long since the last audio. And if I'm honest, I've been really anxious about this audio, kind of from an editing perspective for a few reasons. We'll find out when we get to the audio, because that'll go live in about 2 hours. If I've timed things right, I think this gives us just enough time to have one listen through the full series. But little Jesse, yeah, little Jesse. I have got tea, by the way. I've got some tea with me right now. I've taken to putting a game box on top of my tea to keep it warm. Otherwise, it goes cold very quick. The radiator in my office doesn't work, so I'm often like in the mornings I boot up a game that's not. I don't think it's that well optimized, and it heats up the room, which isn't ideal. I'll reset that. Boop. Is that better? Hey! Fresh content, yeah. The last few audios didn't take too long to get through in the grand scheme of things, but this one in particular was a beast to edit. I won't lie. But I've got the next two scripts for the next two audios sorted already, so those won't take anywhere near as long as this one. Is it a little bit loud? Just me. Oh. Ignoring the bars of the enclosure for the next episode. Jailbroken GameCube. Nah. I have 6 GameCubes and none of them are jailbroken. Right, I did for the last year or so. I got a what are they called? A tumbler, a metal tumbler when I was on holiday. I used that for the last year, and it holds the heat in of the tea for hours. So like, 4 hours have passed and it's still decent drinking temperature. And it's just it needs a deep clean, just from like piling on from all the tea, but it's just not coming off. And like, you have to properly. I don't know what I need to get in there. I can't use bleach because I looked up. You're not supposed to use bleach, and you're not supposed to like use metal scrubbing things on metal tumblers, because that makes them that means that they hold dirt longer. like you're not supposed to do that. So I've tried all sorts of things. I just had to retire it recently, but that was really really good. That was really good while I had that. So yeah, let you welcome. No worries. Let's go. All right. It is 1 minute past. We should probably get started soon. Okay. Drop the tea. So, welcome everyone. Thank you all so much for dropping by. It has been too long. Today, we're going to be doing a roughly 2-hour live stream of a listen along to the Respawn series, which is kind of my main series. Like, kind of like Mitch's world is the big, all-encompassing world that connects so many different series on the channel, but Respawn is just kind of really special to me. Like, this is a series I've been working on for about 6 years now at this point. Like, it was originally going to be like a video series on another channel years ago, and I've been able to pivot it to turn it into an audio series here, and like finally start telling the story that's been in my head for so long. Yeah, so today we're going to have a listen along to chapters 1 through 4 for the next 2 hours or so, and in 2 hours' time, we'll be leading directly into the premiere of chapter 5, the latest audio in the series. And I'm really excited. I'm so excited for this one. I really hope you guys enjoyed as well. This will also be a bit of an AMA as we go along, so feel free to ask anything. I'm going to be muted while we listen along, so I don't just interrupt. We're not going to be pausing through the scenes and interrupting the story. I'll pause in between scenes and in between episodes just for a short bit to have a little bit of a chat about things. So if you've got anything you want, like any questions, AMA, anything at all, feel free. But I won't be interrupting the flow of the audios because I want this to be a decent jumping in point for people that haven't listened along before. Because I've tried to keep in mind sort of like attractiveness of the titles and stuff, and with the audios for people that might see an audio be recommended on YouTube. You go, oh, okay, so this is clearly chapter 3 or chapter 4 of a thing that I haven't listened to yet. But you know that's why chapter 4 has referred to Ram as a bird girl, and how like chapters 1 through 3 refer to Kay as a catboy, because those terms kind of do decently well in the algorithm, or better than the made-up terms I use, like Felis and Quatler will do nothing on YouTube. Going forward, I'm going to start pivoting to titles that are a bit more like chapter titles. So it might be a little bit more. It's more for the people who are already along for the story. I think is probably the best way to put it. So we've had the first few episodes to be like, here's a jumping in point, and I want the stream to be like, if you haven't listened before, and like we're seeing chapter 5 is coming up today, this is a catch-up opportunity, and for the people who haven't listened for a long time, since it has been a very long time since the last episode came out, this is our opportunity for catch-up. So, I think with all that done, let us jump in. Pop. Alright. Oh, where's it gone? Where's it gone? There it is. Hello, everyone. Welcome. Let's jump in with the Respawn series, episode 1. I am going to mute, and let's jump in. You enjoy. Hop. Content warning. Full details below. Hey? Hey? You okay? happened here? Oh, you're waking up. Hey, look at me. There we are. Hello? You okay? Did you get attacked? You don't know. What's the last thing you remember? Nothing. Okay, come on. Sit up. Yeah, there's a tree behind you. There. I'm Kay. What's your name? You don't... Where are you from? There aren't any human towns near these woods. No, no, don't stand up. You okay? You're not dizzy or anything? Oh, wow, you're tall. Okay. I'm just worried you might have hit your head or something. You should probably take it easy. Where's your stuff? Do you have any supplies on you? No, I didn't see a bag or anything. So these clothes, they're very basic. Aren't they itchy? Whoa, sorry. I was getting a bit familiar there. You're staring at my ears. First time meeting a felis. Oh, hey, it's okay. You don't need to... Jeez, come back, please. What is with this person? Why are they checking their hair? Hey. Hey. Look, are you lost? You shouldn't be out here all alone without any way to defend yourself. Me? Well, no, I'm not much of a fighter, but if something thinks it can catch me, I'd like to see it try. You, though, humans are much more bulky. There's a town about an hour that way, Castlebridge. I just come from there. Was that where you were headed? Well, anyway, I could take you there if you like. Don't know what you're going to do if you can't remember anything, but at least you'll be safer than out here. Sound good? You sure you don't have anything on you? You can tell me if something happened, you know. People don't just turn up in the middle of the woods without supplies. Plus, you don't see many humans around here. I was starting to think you guys are mythological, you know. You're not very chatty. Come on, follow me, if you want. Seriously, you never met a cat before or something? Yes, I have a tail. Touch it and I'll bite you. I'm not joking. What's the... No, you don't have a... Never mind. So, what's with that accent? Where's it from? You don't... Right, of course. Is there any point in asking who you are, or are all your memories mysteriously gone? Wait. Shh. Shh. We need to go. Wolves. Hurry. They've already got us scent. Hurry. Hurry! You have to keep up or you're gonna get us both killed. Come on! Keep up. no. You're not gonna... Human, you guys can climb trees, right? Come on, quick, up here. Up, we'll hide in the trees. Hurry! Hurry! I can see him! Quicker! Quicker! Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on! Grab my... Ah! No! No! Oh. Oh. What the... Stay back. This isn't real. You died. You died. I saw some... I saw... You... They tore you apart. I saw everything. How can you be? You're in one piece. Oh my goodness, you're in one piece. Was it a dream? Oh no, I've got... You can see the blood on my hands too, yeah? This is yours. I lost so much. How are you okay? What are you? You don't know. You... Oh no. Oh. No memories. I never thought. You're a user. Get away from me. That's how you're alive. You weren't born. That's why you don't remember anything. You only spawned in today. You can respawn. I didn't think they were real. You're real. You're alive. You're real. Oh my goodness. You're alive. You're alive. You're alive.
I thought you... You're okay. You're okay. Everything's on the insides. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just rubbing my hands all over you. I, I, I put dry blood on you. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. No, that's making it worse. No, none of it's mine. I'm, I'm okay. Did, did it hurt? Sorry, I shouldn't. Sorry. You, you don't remember anything before today, do you? You don't know what's going on. You can speak, but do you know what a user is? No? Never tell anyone. Okay? It, it's better you don't. Hmm. Yeah, we should find somewhere to sleep. No, the wolf den is pretty far away. They left hours ago. They won't go hunting again. I've, well, um, I saw everything. When your eyes stop. Oh, sorry. Spacing out. Yeah, I'm okay. Are you okay? You sure? You died earlier. You shouldn't be okay. You have some phantom pain. I guess. Hmm. Yeah, I suppose you know nothing about the plane, huh? Yeah. What's it? Hmm. Well, there are different kinds of people. I'm a fearless. We just call ourselves cats. Then you got humans, dragons, Ediacrids, Coatla, the folk, golems, I guess. We're born, we live, we die. Well, most of us, the golems, Anyway, I have parents. I don't know how much you know already, but I'm not getting into. Oh, okay, good. I never thought they were real, but users are a bit different. They, you, sometimes once every 100 years, they say, but who knows? Someone just appears fully formed. They'll be of one of the intelligent species, any one of them, identical in every way to a real, a norm. But if a user dies, they don't stay dead. They resurrect, they respawn over and over and over forever. Users of the creator's essence. Folk story. You can see why I thought it was made up. A bedtime tale to get the kittens to sleep. But what happened to you? The devs can't be real too, can they? A way to tell. Well, I've got a dagger. No, of course I'm not going to. I never want to see that again. But, I don't know how else to tell if someone is a user. Maybe I've met one. Oh, creator, they're real. The college in Castlebridge. There's a library there. We can. I don't know. I'm going off of fairy tales. It's not something I've ever really paid attention to. Might be worth, you know, reading up on it. You should get some sleep. I think you need it. Me? No, no thanks. I'm. I'll take first watch. Still out in the woods, the fire will only ward off so much. I don't want to sleep tonight.
Well then, we'll have a quick pause there. That is one of the most difficult audios I think I've made. In terms of the script took me so long. And I really couldn't tell both recording it and editing it whether the heightened emotion stuff near the end sounded any good at all. I really even now it's difficult to tell, but yeah. The creator is just a folktale. Why do you say, "Oh, create"? Because he's not actually like intentionally evoking something that he thinks is real. It's just a turn of phrase. Um, it's just stories. It's just mythos. Some people believe it, some people don't. But it's mythology in this world. Um, and then this is where it starts to click for him. Like, oh, some of this stuff might actually be real because like users, it's the same way that we tell like the Brothers Grimm stories. We don't expect them to be real. Um, like that scene near the end, the two scenes at the end around the campfire. I think I've spent several months trying to figure out how to get that right. Uh, it was difficult. Like so, the idea of respawn has changed a lot over the years. Because, like I say, it's an idea that I had about 6 years ago, and the characters changed completely apart from the user. And I was fine after that, yeah. Recording something like that can take a lot out of you, but usually you just like I often end recordings with like making silly noises and just getting back into like normal brain mode and stop acting. But Jesse's actually said before that she was recording really good audio of hers, um, like a ghost character, and um, she it was a really high emotion scene, high emotion story, and she played it so well with the character crying, and she cried so hard she cried in real life, and then walked out, and her family was like, "Are you okay?" I was like, "Yeah, I was just acting." Um, and if M's still here, M said similar stuff as well. At the end of recording, yeah, blah, 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 yeah, that's the origin of the when I appeared in Obsidian Lantern's bloopers, the blooper reel at the end. Literally, that was just me leaving in the blah, blah, blah when I finished recording. When I finished recording the lines for Ben. So just, just kind of how I end in recording sometimes. Sound design. Oh, I am not an industry voice actor. Not at all. I'm just I'm just dabbling. I'm just having fun. Go cuddle the cats. Yeah. Yeah. Um. All right. Should we jump back in? Should we continue with episode 2? Let's jump in. At a library with a cat boy. Whoop. All right. Hold up. Yeah, that's Castlebridge. Here's the thing. Castlebridge is a cat town. I mean, not exclusively, obviously. We get travellers. Um, Many Coatla? Don't think anyone else ever comes this way. There are better paths up to the regions. Don't think I've ever seen a human in person before. Hmm? Oh, sorry. I'll explain in a bit. Guess none of that made any sense. Yeah. Put this cloak on. Well, I don't want to get caught out in Doran Woods in the rain. Pfft, you don't have a tail and your ears are small, so what do you know? Hey, pull the hood up. Yeah. With any luck, folks will just think you're a tall Felis. At least from a distance. Might take most of the attention off you. Oh, no, nothing bad will happen. Humans are fine. Just like, okay, look. I think you should avoid as much attention as you can. You're a you're a user, and that's a problem. If you were just a weirdo human, then whatever, have fun. Go get everyone asking you to cast buffs and all that.
Trust me, you don't want people finding out. Keep your head down, at least till you can figure yourself out, yeah? Okay, pull it a bit tighter at the front, just to hide your ears. Cool. How, could look better, but passable. Yeah, not too bad actually. Alright, stick close to me. Don't stop for anyone. You see the old castle up there? That's the new college. The library is open to the public. That's our first stop. Well, because after last night, I want to learn more about your condition as soon as we can. No more surprises, especially not here. Because if you do anything else weird, I never met you. Huh? You're hungry? Really? Okay, this way. Right, what do you want? You don't... Hold on. Hi. 2 battered cod, please. Yeah, vinegar, please. Yeah. There you are. Thanks. There. Let's go sit. There's a bench over there. Go on then, say it. Oh, I guess you wouldn't know. Cats and fish. But you know, with Castlebridge, between the woods, the river and the mountains, pretty much all the food here either comes out the ground or from the river. And it makes sense. Besides, fish and batter is our town's specialty. Yeah, try it. Careful, it's still hot. See? Good, isn't it? Okay, first time in the library. Keep your voice down and respect the books. We good? Good. I mean, castles are usually on the bigger sides, but yeah, I get what you mean. This one was actually built by humans long ago. Humans originally founded Castlebridge, but they all left yonks ago. We cats live here now. Most of the buildings are ours, but the castle and some of the older stone structures are original. Right. We are looking for... Sheesh, I don't know. I always thought of users as, like, fables and that. Tell you what, I'll have a look for history books. You see if you can find anything on folk stories, yeah? Hang on. You can read, right? You can understand me, so... You can? Oh, good. So, meet back at this table. We'll go through what we can find, okay? Alright, go team. Okay. I've heard tell of a most peculiar person who arrived in town within the past week. A
traveller bearing the unmistakable features of an Ediacrid was staying in a room above Harrison and Sons butcher shop, which I understand had been given to the guests in exchange for the most expertly acquired game. I myself have had the privilege of exchanging greetings with another Ediacrid in my... Who wrote this drivel? Okay. Conflict emerged betwixt the traveller, a certain Mr. Razor, Mr. Reza, and Mr. Fletcher, whom I always found to be a disagreeable gentleman, during which the traveller was killed by a crack to the skull. Eesh. The restrained Mr. Fletcher was awaiting trial when Mr. Reza was encountered attempting to leave town, despite the fact his body remained deceased in the healer's basement, a fact to which I personally attest. This was raised talk in the town regarding whether a crime had even taken place at all. I mean, I'm not sure. They sound pretty dim. Maybe he had a brother or something. Ediacrid. Oh, sort of like lizard folk, I guess. Tall, maybe taller than you, and covered in scales. They're supposed to be pretty friendly, but I don't know. Big claws and teeth kind of freak me out. They're an old people. They were created as an in-between to try and calm the War of the Dragons. Yeah, created. At least that's what they say. But let's stay on topic. Can't go getting distracted every time you hear something new, huh? Well, okay, real quick. Let's sum up all of cosmology in a minute, why not? So, before the world, there was nothing. The Creator found the plane empty, and so they wrote the first language with which to greet the world. Then there was the world. If you can make sense of that, let me know, but that's the story. Of course, the world is pretty empty without life, so the Creator made the first plants and animals, and then the first of the thinking creatures. The dragons to explore the large, the Fey folk to explore the small, and the humans with a desire to do both. The Creator? Nah, if they were real, they're not around anymore. Once they made the devs, the Creator supposedly infused their essence into the plane, dedicating its runtime to maintaining the world. Whatever that means. I got no patience for theology. Oh, some say it's short for divines or something, but I don't know. They're like these super beings with near limitless powers. No, like human, dragon, fae, I think some changed forms when the younger peoples began. It's not a species. It's like a class. The Creator appointed the 9 devs, and the devs appointed their own admins from normal people. Admins have less powers, but are still basically minor deities. They act as proxies for their patron dev. That's, like, usually how the myths go. And below the admins are the users. Creator, dev, admin, user. Then you got the people who are just the natural product of creation. Like me. Look, These are folk stories, stuff you do plays on in school. It's not serious. You find anything? Oh, let's have a look. The Witch Rock of Warren Hill. No, I know the title, but never read it. Let's see. In the village of Barrow Run, there lived, skip ahead. Yeah, Barrow Run is in the West Wolds, I think. Sort of lover, trader for someone else, usual cliche claptrap. Aha! A curse upon ye, and all ye love. For my heart didst wither in this village, and so the village shall be forfeit. To the top of Warren Hill Saba climbed, whereupon she found a great stone. Being trained in the first tongue, she set about a hex on the stone face, that the person most near to the witch stone would suffer the decay of time, that the bones turn to clay, the flesh to parchment, and the rivers of the veins run no waters. Appeased by her work, then Saba sat beside the witch rock, and wept for a full moon and again, until her tears became sand, that her revenge would soon begin. The peoples of the village below the hill became afflicted by the witch rock, as the illness of decay seeped to the bones of the soul who was most near. Gathered became the village in council, and the villagers talked, for none wanted to be near the rock, but who could leave their land? As the first victims became healed when another soul bore the curse, a grisly vote was cast. The villagers builded in turns a cottage upon the hill, with the comforts of a hearth and larder. For a full work week would a hearty person reside therein, and bear the curse for the village. And as one, the village bore its curse upon themselves, that the towns of Dalebrook and Sperry wouldst never. And the witch rock of Warren Hill assailed Barrow Run a many winters and summers, and still they bore their curse. But the villagers became weary of their burden, and hoped for a magician to dispel the hex. One day, a travelling merchant was peddling their trinkets of old and rare curios, when they heard tell of Warren Hill and the stone atop. They retreated to their room for a day and a night, then came to the marketplace. "Give to me cheese and bread, and you may keep my things," they said, and many laughed, but the merchant placed on the ground every trinket to their name, and left for Warren Hill. The merchant didn't return. Instead, a farmhand bearing 5 days of decay did, declaring, "The stranger is mad! The stranger is mad!" On the third morning, some of the village climbed Warren Hill to find the merchant in the cottage, with decay beginning upon their hands. "I shall stay forevermore." "You shall die," cried the villagers. "Yes," replied the merchant. The farmers brought to the cottage their wares, cheese and bread, as well as berries and tubers. The villagers waited, not daring become closer, but await the time they must resume their mantle. But after the second new moon, they came to the cottage to find the merchant once more, with tired eyes, but heartier than before. "I told you, I shall stay and carry for you this curse. You know not of my kin. There are few of the ever dying.
I shall live here forever. I shall die here forever. For as long as I do, this curse will be the business of no one else. At last I know my meaning. To the villagers the merchant begged of food and drink and books, but asked most of all, "Bring me forth a tutelar, for many know the first tongue, but none else have the power to end this blight. Bring me forth a tutelar." I've never heard the words. Hang on. Okay. S T U. Ah. It's an old word for admin. How does it? Only a few lines left. Eventually, many years later, a tutelar arrives to end the curse, and the merchant asks to no longer be an ever dying. Yeah. Yeah, they did. Folk stories, right? They're usually this grim. That's fine when they're made up. I don't know. Okay. I really don't know. Maybe it is. Maybe I. What time is it? We should. Yeah. Come on. Let me put these books back. Looks like rain. Don't want to get caught out in that. So, what's the plan? Well, yeah, there are a few inns in town. Some of them can be a bit pricey, but... Do you have any money? The creator didn't give you any money. Stingy little... Come with me. I've got a spare room. You're working for it, though, yeah? I ain't housing a freeloader. Come on. Follow me. Well then. We paused right as it started to fade. that looks rubbish. Yeah. Literally the first frame of the text starting to fade in. I was really happy with how that came out. I was so excited after the first episode. That was the very next episode, the very next audio in general that I made. Um,
And I'll actually bring up. Where's Twitter the first thing? Normally the wiki appears. Where's the wiki? There we go. So on the wiki, there's a link below. The plain load of extra lore. So if it goes by too quick in the audios, a lot of it's on here. If it's easy to go through on reading, and yeah, on the full audio list, literally the very next audio I made was like, okay, I really need to continue this. I was having way too much fun. Um, and yeah, uh, like I was saying in chat, like I've got a huge old, like really old dictionary behind me. I just like thumped that on my lap and it made a fantastic noise. So a lot of the foley was done with that dictionary. I was really happy with how that came out. Um, this was basically that okay, we need to go into a bit of extra exposition just to start to understand that there's a whole lot going on in this world, but you really don't want to just like dump a whole stack of exposition on people because it's just too much to keep up with. So hopefully we didn't just like have too many. Oh, what's this word? I've never heard this word before because if you've seen the first few minutes of like Elder Scrolls Skyrim, it's just they list off all the names of the divines and like name of one faction and name of another faction, and if you don't know what's going on, it can be very overwhelming. And I don't know if I had too much of that or if I got a side better balance. It's difficult to know, but yeah, there's a lot going on in the background of this world that did need to. Okay, now we need to actually get into like the creator and the divines and the admins. um but yeah, the story of the Witch Rock of Warren Hill was originally going to be one of the chapters or episodes or parts of the story that Respawn was originally going to be, like it was originally based on. Um, so I'm really happy I was able to get that into this story as well. You punched a clown and I've missed something in chat. You're forced to reconsider the things you once thought to be myths. That would, yeah, I love seeing characters try to work through stuff like that. Yeah. Oh no, who'd I scare away? Freckle and Hyde, welcome. Hope you're doing well. We're having a listen through the Respawn series. We're about to start episode 3. Okay is slash will be able to work through the trauma of this whole ordeal and seeing the user die as they did, yeah. Like, we at least see Kay is a bit more upbeat in chapter 2. Like chapter 1 was rough. Chapter 1 was rough, but like given this series is based on death, essentially. That is the core theme. Like, we needed to have a rough first chapter just to kind of set the scene for like the whole series, so that if we have stuff happening later, it's not all of a sudden where the hell did this come from? Like, you know, chapter 1 throws you in at the deep end and it goes like, okay, if this isn't your thing, now's a good time to stop listening. Really. Yeah. Yeah. It's also fun, I think, to to listen to this, like see what this character's like as all this starts to unfold around him, because uh Kay is just some guy. He's just a fella. He he's just some little fella. Um and like he's no hero. He's just someone that works in this town, lives in this town, and then all of a sudden mythology happens around him. Um but he's not really the main character. You are, the user is. And he's just kind of doing his best figuring this stuff out, and he's just a really fun character. Let's start a respawn cult. Oh no. Yeah. All right then. We have just under 20 minutes left of this, and we have 30 minutes of episode 4. So we've got an hour left before the premiere. Shall we jump in with episode 3? I can't remember if there's anything we needed to chat about in between. I understand anyone grabbing ankles. Yep. No thank you. No thanks. We're good. He's a little bean. He is. Like he obviously looks like smaller and younger than perhaps he actually is, because obviously Felis are shorter than humans are on average. Um, so I kind of think of him like Mitch is also an adult, but he never had a chance to grow. He's always just kind of been stuck as he is. Like this is me, this is who I am, this is all I've got. And only really with episode 6, where he got a job recently, and in the last audio, he's starting to finally be able to grow as a person. Um, I kind of think of, and you hear this in the similarity of the voice as well. Kay is kind of like Mitch if he had the chance to grow and be himself. Like Kay has a job and a house, but he just looks and sounds younger because he's a fearless. But that's kind of in my head why the two have sort of similarish voices. He's sort of like Mitch if Mitch were a bit more mature, I think. Um, he is just some guy. He's not a hero. He's not an adventurer. He's just doing his best to help because the user needs it. Because they're in a really tough situation and there's no one else that can help. Yeah, he looks like a thief that would steal a princess's heart. Accurate. One day your writer decided to make you the main character's sidekick, and now he's got to deal with it. That's kind of his story, really. Yeah, really is. All right then. Hmm. I'm so excited for this series. I'm so excited for it. Right, shall we jump in with episode 3? Shall we set this to a higher resolution? I just noticed. I mean, it's a small window on the stream anyway, so it's not like it matters too much. But we might well. We'll go 720 because it's small and I am streaming. But yeah, yeah. Well, it's always the ordinary people that something big and crazy happens to them. In stories, it's part of the hero's journey. I think it's basically a trope. Um, Like you think of like Luke Skywalker and Star Wars, classic example. It's the hero's journey, which starts with someone whose ordinary life is taken away from them, and they're like, "Here's your path to greatness." And part of the journey, like we see with Luke, is refusing that call to begin with, until they're left with no choice but to answer that call. So it's kind of just like an ancient storytelling trope. Like, I quote Star Wars because it's a famous example, but it didn't come from Star Wars. It's a very very old storytelling trope because it works. All right, chapter 3. Let's jump in.
Hey, I'm home. Yeah, fine. Just a long day. Hey, budge up. How was yours? What'd you get up to? Oh, sweet. Saves me doing a grocery run later. Cheers. Anyone give you any trouble? Alright. No, no, I wouldn't. I mean, since humans are kind of rare, I don't want people crowding you.
Well, that's good. It's nice to see you fitting in here so well. Hmm? What kind of questions? And what did you say? Yeah, probably for the best to play it vague with where you're from. I don't know where humans tend to live. I mean, I've never left Castlebridge except for Doran Woods and trips up the mountains. All I know is what I hear from travellers. Uh, they used to be all over, at least by the sounds. Like I said, Castlebridge used to be a human town ages ago. It was abandoned for over a century before us cats claimed it. Don't know why it was left. Nice defensible position on the inside of the riverbend, plus with Dorin on this side and everything backed up against the Phrygians, it's hard to cut the town off from resources, you know? Oh, to defend against other kingdoms, I guess? There were wars and all that. Humans were paranoid. And I guess they had every right to be. The War of the Dragons. Sounded like your lot were very nearly wiped out. But that was a long time ago. Ancient history. I don't think Castlebridge dates back as far as that. Yeah, long before half the peoples existed. Definitely before us Felis. You'd have to ask someone who knows history, though. I ain't a scholar. I just wait tables. I mean, if I had to guess, hmm, if there are humans anywhere, maybe Estes? It's a city in the south, one of the oldest, supposedly huge. Either there or along the coast in the southwest. I don't know. That's where I'd start. Um, hey, if you knew where other humans were living, what would you do? Well, I don't know. I'm sorry, I've never met another human before. I don't know what they're like. You're nice though, so well, you know us Felis by now, right? We're pretty easygoing as long as you are, act as nice as you do. That's what the other people say about us, not far off. Um, Ediacrids are polite and calm. Golems are curious and literal. Selkies are standoffish and proud. You know, that kind of thing. I know I'm painting with broad strokes here, but that's the point. Humans, um, humans are a rainbow. At least how it sounds, anyway. You're talking to a Koatla or an Ediacrid. Everyone's different, but you kind of know what you're gonna get. A human could be anything. You know, with the Fae folk, what kind of rules they live by, depending on what kind of Fae they are. Humans aren't like that. Does that make sense? I don't know. Look, I'm not going to stop you. If there's a chance to get you to your people, if that's what you want to do, then great. All I'm going to say is it's a really bad idea to just head off by yourself. You need to know where you're going and how to get there in one piece.
Best I can do is guess whether there are humans in this house, but I don't know. That's not enough to go on. Not yet. You can leave anytime you like, but I don't want you getting hurt. I don't know who would know. I get to talk with all sorts at the bar. I'll keep an ear out and let you know, yeah? Anything comes up, I'll tell you. Um, Speaking of, hey, can we, talk about, you know, the thing? The whole respawning thing. Sorry. Um, are you okay? I mean, okay with all this? Are you okay with being a user? No, like, if you had the opportunity to only live just the one time, like the rest of us, would you? I'm sorry, that that came out of nowhere, didn't it? Um, I can't imagine being like that. Death is a part of life. We don't like it, but it's where we're all headed. It's a natural way of things. I enjoyed living. I want to be around for as long as I do, but one day I'm gonna be dead and gone. I ain't looking forward to it, but it's just I can't imagine having some fate other than that. I don't want to live forever. That's a lot all at once. I'm sorry. Mm. What I was getting at was, uh, mm, I mean, you didn't get a choice being a user. Well, that story about the witch stone, that got me thinking. What if you could choose? Yeah, we'd need an admin. And, so what if we could find one? No, of course I don't know one. I'd have told you sooner. I I overheard some stuff today at work. The mountain range, the Phrygians. I overheard a koala saying a river up in the north has completely dried up. Turns out it's been redirected. But way up in the mountains, that would take a lot to pull it off without anyone noticing, right? Well, you know how sometimes you hear a word and then you keep hearing it everywhere? Tutelar. the tutelar of Bora. It's an old folk story would grant wishes. Bora? It's one of the Phrygians, one of the northern peaks. Yeah. Well, it's the same valley the river's in, but yeah, it's close. Yeah, I think it might be an admin. It's not that far. It's up in the mountains, but if we got an adventurer as a guide, I think we could. At least check it out. Might be a week round trip. Yeah, we could pull it off. Only thing is, do you wanna? I'm not saying we should. I don't know, if you want to keep all this to yourself, I get it. Just saying we could. No, not to get them to. I mean, admins are pretty old, right? We're going off of myths for all this user stuff. At least you'd be able to ask someone. They might be able to take you to other humans. Maybe other users. If you want. And if you do want to stop being a user, look, it's your call. We have something to go on, but if you. Yeah, I think it's our best shot at learning more. Yeah, our. I'm going with you. I ain't just kicking you out. Like, unless, I mean, this user stuff is really none of my business. Just offering. Yeah? Uh, okay then. Um, well, tell you what, we'll go down to the Rosewater Jar when I'm not working and see if we can find an adventurer who will take the job. Sound good? Now, don't worry about the money. This is important. Besides, it's just an escort mission up the mountains. It should be simple enough.
Where is that bar? I need a drink.
Well then, ignore the April Fools. um, one of the trickier and kind of most involved, most annoying parts that is necessary in editing these sorts of audios is the footstep sounds. Um, this character, who we'll see in the next episode, and editing wing beats is something I hadn't really done too much before, and it's more complicated to get right than regular footsteps. Jesse, welcome. You joined just as your character appears. Heck yeah. You picked the perfect time to wake up. Hope you're doing all right. You've been with us this whole time. It's okay. You've been with us. What if the immortality and possibly losing their loved ones over and over again might drive some or a user to insanity? Perhaps give them the goal of ending the user state. Yeah, it's it's something that's really interesting to see the ways that different characters uh could tackle that problem, because those sorts of problems will occur, and it's a fascinating thing to see even in other stories how characters navigate immortality. Um, but yeah, it's early on for the user, but yes, some of those questions, like this was the audio to like have a breather and like, okay, what's it actually like to live day to day with that hanging over you? Thinking about like the trajectory of your life, you know, is going to be different from the person sitting next to you. In the last few days, I've started watching an anime free run, which I've never read before. I don't know anything about it. I didn't know anything about it until I started watching in the last few days. It is so good. It is an amazing show, and it's all. I won't say too much about what's going on, but it's also very interestingly a story about immortality and about a character outliving people that they know, and how characters deal with immortality. Um, yeah, it's a fascinating thing to think about. With philosophy and possibilities relating to the lore and users is fascinating. I agree. Like this is why this world has been weighing on my head for so many years, because like this is just the kinds of stories that I really love, that I think are the best kind of stories to like read or listen to or play or whatever. Are the kind of ones that like stick with you after you've finished. Um, Thinking about like what it would be like to live in that world, what it would be like to live with these sorts of scenarios, these sorts of choices. What is it like to be in that situation? And that's kind of where this story and this world came from, about like um about if the circumstances surrounding death were different, if you were able to just respawn like that, what that world would be like to live in. I seriously recommend the anime, Ezra. It's so good. I'm halfway through, I think. No, not going to spoil or anything. It's really cool. It's a really good one. That's true. Yeah, it's an April Fool's. I've changed the top. I've changed the series banner thing. It's an April Fool's thing. Don't take it seriously. D&D. I've played a bit of it. It's not really my thing. It's a cool thing. It just I don't quite click with it. It's fun, but I'm bad at it. My my cat is attacking your raccoon tail. It'd be fluffy waggy tail. Yeah. All right. We've got 40 minutes mortality. That's the thing, like how you navigate immortality when you want to spend your life with another person. That is cruel. sorry if sorry if I'm attracting cats just to pour at your screens. All right. We've got about 40 minutes to go to the premiere of chapter 5. We've got um one last episode to get through. Should we jump in? Should we get going with episode 4? Have a listen. Oop. We'll do the same thing again. There we go. And back to start.
See her? The one with the wings? Pretty sure she's an adventurer. Seen her around before. Doesn't have any guild gear. Alright, leave her talking to me. Because... obvious reasons. Excuse me.
Yeah. Another ale, please?
Sorry, I'm not working right now.
Oh,
Look, can we talk?
we're talking.
Okay. My name is Caden, and this is my friend. Yeah. We're looking to speak with an adventurer.
Uh-huh. You're a human. Haven't seen a human in Castlebridge for a long time.
Mind if we sit down?
Tell you what. I'll trade you a seat for a round. You get an employee discount, right?
Not as such, no.
Then I appreciate it all the more.
You want a drink too? Okay.
Take a chair. You look lost. I haven't seen you around before. You lived here long? Oh, yeah. I pass through here from time to time. Don't remember everyone's faces. But I know I wouldn't forget seeing a human. You guys don't show up around the Phrygians these days. Not much, at any rate. I heard your lot all retreated to the Ledaean forest, and now built your halls in the trees. Something like that? Nice dodge, by the way. You like my wings or something? Don't you know it's rude to stare? What? You never met a Coatla before? Wait, you haven't? Where are you from?
Here we are.
Thanks.
And here. So, we were...
What's the job?
We need a guide for... We're taking a trip up to the Phrygians. Might be a week round trip. We're looking at trekking up to the northern peaks. You know, Lifthelm, Bora. We need an adventurer to get us there and back.
Lifthelm.
And Bora.
Okay. Why?
My friend here is studying to be a geologist. They've come out to Castlebridge to see the Phrygians, to get a closer look, you know?
I see. Okay. And you're thinking a week-long quest?
Thereabouts.
Caden, was it?
You can call me Kay.
I'm Remfer. People call me Rem. Nice to meet you both.
Yeah.
So, I'm an ungilded adventurer, archer. My main weapon is my bow. Aerial combat is my forte, but I can handle myself in close quarters. Arm blades, of course. Do either of you fight?
Oh, no, we get along with each other pretty well.
No, I mean, are either of you accustomed to battle?
Oh. No, not really.
You travel unarmed?
Well, no, I carry my dagger, but usually I just try to avoid fights.
Uh-huh. Pretty regular for fearless party members.
What are you trying to say?
That fearless make good rogues? What about you? Any magic? None? Okay. A shame. I like working with human spellcasters. So, going at your pace, I estimate about 5 days to the Northern Phrygians, 5 days back. That's 9 nights plus however long you plan to stay.
5 days?
I wouldn't hold out for less, to be honest. Humans might have good endurance, but they're not all that fast. Fearless are the opposite, and I'm not carrying you. But hey, maybe you'll surprise me. Tell you what, I'll knock my fee down a little if we get back sooner. Cool?
Right. And that fee would be?
Let's call it 90 gold. How's that sound?
90. Okay.
That's half upfront. Also, we split any loot 50% between your party and myself. That's weighed against my fee, so if the mission loot is equal to 90 gold, then you won't be out of pocket. But I get the feeling that there won't be much loot in this, right?
Probably not, no.
You never hired an adventurer before, have you?
Well, not exactly the adventuring type. I work here.
Uh-huh. I'll call it 75 if our geologist wants to say where they're from.
90 gold sounds fair.
Yeah? Okay. You must have gotten a research grant for the trip, right?
Do the guilds charge about the same?
90 gold. When do we leave?
How soon can you...
Tomorrow. That sound good to you?
Tomorrow? Tomorrow works for us.
Good. We'll meet outside Rosewater first thing. Make sure you've eaten.
Right. See you tomorrow.
Don't forget, half up front.
So, what do you think? Adventurers can be a mixed bag. Trust me, I've gone to know a lot of parties in here. I reckon I know the type. Don't expect to make any friends, but yeah, she's what we're looking for. She'll get us back alive. Well, get me back alive. I think you're covered. Sorry. No, I don't think we should tell her the user stuff. Well, cause it... Look, I don't know how much other people know about all that. But as far as I knew, it was all folk stories. People that get around, like adventurers, especially who grew up different, they might have other ideas. I'm worried about you getting hurt. You can still get hurt, even if you can't be killed. Not forever, anyway. Getting that kind of attention would be a problem. Some stories of admins and users treated like lesser deities, while some... The Witch Rock, yeah. Stories of dying over and over, of... There are superstitious people in the world. Me? Superstition? Not really. I'm open-minded. Show me evidence, you know? Your being real is making me question a lot of things. What gets me is if users are still appearing but never dying, then over time the number of users in existence will only ever increase, right? Well then, why didn't we know they exist? Why are they just stories? Just... Are they hiding? That... That worries me. They should be everywhere, but they... Maybe they are. I don't know how you'd know. Especially someone who's been around for a long time. I only found out about you because... Never mind. Point is, I don't know what to do about that. The fact that you're... But yeah, keep it quiet. Ram seems trustworthy, but for all I know, Koatla tell different stories about users. Okay, here's the plan. You're a student of geology from, I don't know, some college in the West Wolds or something. I'll figure something out. And you're here to study the northern regions. Actually, no, do you know anything about rocks? Maybe aspiring student? No, we already said. Ugh. Anyway, you're interested in all the peaks, not just Bora. When we get to Bora, we'll wing it, I guess. I can distract her while you look for anything that might point to the tutelar of Bora. Then, whatever happens, we get home as planned. She gets a fee and is none the wiser, and we at least tried. Maybe you learned something, maybe it's a bust, but we tried. How's that sound? Okay. Awesome. Hey, fist bump? All right, go team. Hang on, I think I can scrounge some scran from the kitchen. You want a refill? You got it.
No, I'm not muted. I'm just miming. Thank you. Yeah, welcome everyone who joined during the last audio. We've been catching up with Respawn. We've got 25 minutes to go before the next part, so we'll hang out and have a chat for a bit. But yeah, this is where we left off. Way too long ago. It's my fault. I'm so sorry it's taken so long. But yeah, this is where we left off with hiring Ram as the adventurer for the party, and about to head off on a quest to the Phrygians to see if they can find the tutelar of Bora, this fabled admin in a myth they found in the library, who at some point was said to live on the mountain in the Phrygians called Bora. I can't wrestle, no. For the raccoon noises. My bad, I'm sorry. I'm just gonna get on their butts about the user stuff, I bet. Does she know? How much do you think she knows? She's curious about the human stuff, because humans are rare, but she's run into humans before. Imagine how much trauma you can fit in a user. I mean, one lifetime is enough for us to see a plague and plenty of wars, let alone person-to-person trauma. Imagine if someone other than Kay found us, yeah. Users very lucky that Kay was around at the time, because um, users spawning into the world, they don't just they spawn randomly. They don't spawn completely randomly. Like they'll appear within a few miles of some of other people. So there's not a chance of a user just appearing completely in the wilderness away from all life whatsoever. But also cities that have like loads and loads of people, that doesn't increase the chances of a user spawning there. It's just that too far away from other people, users won't spawn there. But they could spawn in the vicinity of anyone, and they even after spawning, they could just not meet that person and wander off into the distance anyway. So yeah, so the user was very lucky to find Kay. Hype for the new episode. I'm so excited. About 20 minutes to go. 20 minutes to go for the next episode. Is it quiet? Am I too quiet? It's bumping up okay on my end. I'll just assign a random person to take. Not quite. Like it's within a few miles. Um. So, uh, so like that's still a long distance away. Like if it's a few miles away from the nearest person, they could just not meet at all. It's just like one check in like the spawning of users, to prevent users from spawning like miles and miles and miles and miles away from any life at all. Oh no, was this something on your end? I'm sorry. You're right, Nezuchu? Alright. We've got 20 minutes to go. We might not stream like right up until the very last minute, but we got 10 minutes or so to wrap up AMA. So, is there anything that's popped up so far? Obviously, I'm not going to talk about anything that's happening like um in future episodes. I'm not spoiling. I'm not talking. I'm not talking. Um, but yeah, is there anything that's raised so far that anyone's been curious about that uh that's worth like hashing out before we jump into the next episode? Imagine you get spawned to someone in the boat and you just get plunged in the deep ocean. That's possible. Grim but possible. I assume there's probably a check to ensure, like similar to starting Minecraft, there's probably a check to ensure that you land on solid ground. That's concerning, yeah. What, Annie? What? Imagine you hear a random pop while in a walk and you just see some random spawn in. Hi, child. Hello. I can't wave. Can users learn magic? It's Jesse. Oh, thank you. Jesse, that's really sweet. Thank you. Um Oceano, it depends. Magic is mostly tied to species. So so the user, the character, the listener character is human. So their ability to use magic will depend on them being a human. And humans do have access to magic, but um, only 10% of all humans have the capacity the capability to like train as a mage or a spellcaster or whatever. So there's a 10% chance that the user would be able to learn magic. It's not something that they've gone into yet, because obviously Kay doesn't have a clue. Felis don't have access to magic. So if a user spawned in as a felis, then they wouldn't be able to use magic at all. So, for instance, humans can use any class of magic at all, but 90% of humans don't have access to any magic. Uh, Fae can use any class of magic. They're not limited by that. They have huge access to magic. Dragons similar, but they're a lot more instinctual. They don't have much control. And of the species that came later, because those are the three oldest, the species that came later were designed by the developers later on. Like the Ediacrids have the capacity for fire magic. Selkies have capacity for ice and electric magic. And there are things like that. Quatla, complicated, but generally not much magic. And then Felis, no magic at all. So generally, the younger a species is, the less magic they tend to have access to. But it does depend on the species. That's species-based magic. There's also exploits. There's also different kinds of magic that are disallowed by the admins. And those aren't tied to species. That sort of stuff gets a lot more complicated. So we haven't really seen it in play yet. But that's a part of the world that is possible. There's a bit of that on the wiki, I think. There's a page on the first language that goes into a lot more detail about magic, but a lot of it hasn't really been the chance for it to come up yet. So so users don't have more access to magic than other people. It depends on the species. And for the user listener character, it's down to them being human. For the pen. Thank you, Jesse. I love you. Necromancy a thing? No. Other than like obviously people spawning back in, there isn't really, not to like bring a person back. It's possible to reanimate like a dead body, but not to bring back a person. Listeners' magic capacity, luck to some extent so far. Kinda, yeah. Kinda. It's not something that can really be explored so far because the user is living amongst Felis who don't have access to magic. So it's not anything they know. Kay doesn't know how to do magic at all because Felis don't. Felis don't have access. They have as much access to magic as us humans in the real world. I kind of like use Felis as like the entry level, like the way that humans are kind of like the standard people in some fantasy worlds, and kind of like hobbits are a little bit in Tolkien as well. Could a body be brought back as a golem? It would probably not last that long. I guess technically, if like you do some really grim stuff to it. What about Gollum, fellas? If the golems are a lot more complicated with that, so I don't know if it can really be considered necromancy. Golems are a lot more complicated because their consciousness isn't stored in the brain. Like the brain is like a computer. It's the hardware or the wetware that's running the software that is consciousness, that is thinking, that is the mind, and that's based on the shape of the brain. Whereas for golems, their consciousness is run by the underlying logic of the world itself, and so it's not the brain isn't stored in the golem. Golems have activated Argentiferous galena, which is like a sort of I think of it as like the crystal in a crystal radio. That's sort of like the connection between the physical body of the golem and the non-physical part of the plane itself that runs consciousness for golems. Uh, if that is separated from the golem or broken in some way, that golem dies and the consciousness just stops running. But it's technically possible to reuse that galena in another body. And that would cause a lot of issues. All right, we are almost 10 minutes away. So we should probably start wrapping up soon. This has been a lot of fun. I've been meaning to have a listen along to some stuff for a little while. I didn't want this to be too much of a director's commentary because I did want to have a proper listen along for people that aren't familiar with the series. I'll just drop myself down because I noticed the clipping a little bit. Whoop, there we go. That's a bit better. Lovely jubbly, lovely stuff. Boop. We'll head over here. Hello. Transition noise playing. Hang on. It is, but it's very quiet. Is it quiet on your end as well, or is it just me? Maybe my speakers are low. All right. I'll put a little bit of music on quietly. Oop. Get quieter. Can't really tell from my end because I can't hear my own voice. Oh, okay, sorry. Change that. Okay, so we should probably wrap up shortly. In about 10 minutes, Chapter 5 of Respawn will go live. I'll drop the link in chat. So we will stop the stream shortly, but I'll jump over to the chat there and hang out. No worries. Thanks for dropping by, Obi. Where is it? I've lost it. There we go. So, the new episode will be over here. Whoop, whoop, whoop. There we go. In case it goes by too quick. It won't. We're quite chill. But yeah, thank you all so much for dropping by. I hope you've enjoyed. And it has been too long since the last episode. I've just been concerned about the editing for this one. I'm happy with how it came out, but it's been worrying me because like, oh god, how do I do this? I'm gonna try to get to the next episode sooner than like I don't want to leave it as long as we did since the last episode. Until next time. Yeah, thank you all so much for dropping by. I hope you had fun. And in about 10 minutes, we'll see you over the premiere of Chapter 5. See you on the other side. Alright, we'll wrap up here. Take care, everyone. Thank you all so much for dropping by. I'll catch you over in the premiere. You have a good evening, and we'll see you later. Good night, everyone. Bye.